Hello and welcome to another Disney channel. The latest full-length trailer for Disney's Snow White live-action remake is officially here with tons of homages, plot insights and hidden details throughout. Without further ado, let's dive straight in. The trailer for Disney's Snow White is here, sort of. The trailer leaked online and Disney seemed reluctant to post it for some reason. However, it was packed with details from the upcoming movie. I've spotted a lot of animated homages, details dating back to German Renaissance and so much more. If you've heard about it, I'm sure it's negativity. But is the trailer or movie really that bad? Let's break it down, analyse the details, and let's decide for ourselves. The first scene opens up with Rachel Zegler's Snow White spotting something through what appears to be bars. She has a brush in hand indicating she's using it to clean. I believe this takes place within the courtyard of the Queen's castle right before she meets Jonathan, who is played by Andrew Burnap. But also likely a scene from the animated movie where she was in like a courtyard cleaning and then the prince came and sang to her. I just want to discuss the outfit here. It's red with floral prints. Floral was often associated with nobility in Renaissance Germany when the movie was set. The glaring thing here is the faded look it gives off, which is to symbolise it isn't looked after, which likely is a parallel to Snow herself. We hear her say in a voiceover that this was my father's kingdom, with a shot of young Snow White played by Amelia Faulkner, and her father looking down what appears to be the iconic wishing well. There appears to be doves around the well, which is an obvious homage to the animated movie, with a faraway shot following of the scene within the castle grounds. We then see a pan shot of the castle which looks like it's set around happier times. You know, it's brighter, we can see the colours clearly, and there's also greenery growing along the castle. But this is also a homage to the animated movie. If you recall the scene when the prince was singing to Snow White, you could see the greenery growing up the castle side of the walls. Now, I think in the animated movie, maybe it was to symbolise that this was overgrown because it was unkept, but in this movie they're showing it as a homage around happier times. We are then shown a shot of the people of the kingdom stepping aside as somebody steps from the throne. I think it's to give the illusion that this is the Queen herself. There was a leaked photograph of Gal Gadot in an outfit as the evil Queen before she was evil. If you look carefully here, it looks extremely similar to how the character is presented on screen. Snow says, "But the Queen," as we then get a shot of Gal Gadot's evil Queen touching a ring. Interestingly, this is the beginning of the symbolic representation throughout this trailer that the evil Queen is a cultist member, or at least studying occultism. Wearing a ring on the index finger represents trust and faith as a form of leadership. If we zoom in, we can see an emerald. The emerald itself is what's known as a lapis lazuli, and it's symbolic of wealth and leadership. Then we see her in a darkened room with smoke surrounding her as she lifts her arms up. This is either likely the magic mirror scene or it's the transformation scene, but I'll explain why and what I think this is a little later. Changed Everything follows from Snow's voiceover. We then see the throne room of the evil Queen as an armed soldier enters the room, presumably pushing a captured Jonathan, who again is the love interest of Snow White in this movie played by Andrew Burnap. We see her moving her fingers as he approaches. The throne here has snakes engraved upon it, representing deceit and danger. There's a lot of symbolism in the evil Queen's decor, which I will be highlighting as we go further into the investigation of this trailer. Then there's a shot of Snow stood with the Queen as the Queen yells, "Take him away." She pleads, saying, "Your Majesty." We then get a shot of Jonathan, the huntsman, played by Ansu Kabia, and the evil Queen as she spins around, saying, "What did you say?" The shot then returns to Snow White as she says, "People need some kindness." The scene seemingly shifts to another scene here, which shows the evil queen talking to Snow White at a table. She says, "I really don't remember you being this opinionated," as she snaps a bone of whatever it is she's eating. I honestly think, and this isn't me attacking anybody or anything of that kind, or, you know, insinuating something that may not be there, but I feel like this line was put there just for the Rachel Zegler moment. I think that this, "I don't remember you being this opinionated," is to sort of let the audience root for maybe the evil queen in this movie, which is such a choice, isn't it? The faraway shot here shows Snow is indeed at the table with her, making me believe the clips from before were part of this scene, and the queen spinning when she said, "What did you say?" were part of another. The next shows movement from the corner of the screen as Snow looks concerned at the action before her, you know, at the snapping of the bone. The Disney logo appears and we then see the evil queen walking as her cloak flows behind her. "Magic mirror on the wall," she says. The next shot shows the magic mirror room, but there are numerous objects scattered around. If we zoom in and take a look, we can see what looks like a white box. The box that the queen presents to the huntsman in the movie is in fact this very same box we see here, and we will see it later. Also in this room is the continued occultist symbolism. On the ground beneath the queen as she summons the magic mirror, we can see occult symbols. These are likely to highlight the importance of actively being within this circle containing the occultist symbols in order to summon the mirror itself, making me think, what is this magic mirror in this movie? A different shot shows the queen standing in front of the mirror. Fire engulfs the mirror and we get a close-up of the queen, and she says, "Who is the fairest of them all?" If we take a look at the surroundings here, there are peacocks in the decor, which is a direct homage to the peacock throne she had in the animated movie. The magic mirror appears before her and utters, "Famed is thy beauty, majesty." We are then shown shots of her seemingly being dressed. A belt is wrapped around her, which is similar to the attire she wore in the animated movie. Rings are placed on her fingers. We see a shot of her adding her crown to her head. The shot changes as we see Snow passing a loaf of bread through the gates of the castle to Jonathan, who is on the other side accepting. "But a lovely maiden I behold," echoes the magic mirror to the evil queen. There's a puzzling look on Jonathan's face here. This is because in this version, Jonathan and Snow grew up together as children, and the puzzled view here could be at her rags and current condition in comparison to how he remembered her. We see then shots of Jonathan accepting the bread from Snow. She then returns to the castle as the evil queen watches on with a voiceover, which leads into the following shot. "I look at you and I just want to be fairest of them all," she says, holding Snow's neck in an almost passive-aggressive threat. Snow leaves the queen standing. The shot changed to the queen grabbing the white box from the earlier scene, with its design modelled entirely from the animated version. The shot changes to show Snow in her famous outfit as we hear a voiceover from the huntsman as he says, "The queen is evil, you must flee into the woods." The shot changes to the huntsman briefly as he concludes this line. Snow's outfit, by the way, is also very much inspired by Renaissance dresses in Germany at the time this movie was set. It's extremely accurate to how they were presented, even down to the make and how it falls from her. It's so accurate to the outfits, and there are some examples on screen right now. We then see shots of the woods, which pans inwards and shows Snow entering with a scared expression as she looks backwards. If we lighten the image here, Snow has her red ribbon here, which is missing in the later scenes, indicating she does in fact lose the ribbon in this scene. Did you know that Walt Disney added the red ribbon in the original animated movie as a way of informing the audience that Snow was still a child? The symbolism of her losing the ribbon in this movie here could be symbolism of her childhood and innocence being lost as she's thrust into the forest and out on a path away from the place she once called home. This march flashes on screen. Then we see a shot of the enchanted forest in the movie. I say enchanted forest as it's displayed more magical and Celtic in this version of Snow White than the animated version. The animals appear to gather as Snow lifts from the ground. We can hear the almost haunting echo of Snow singing Whistle While You Work in this shot from the first trailer. My parents always said this forest was a magical place, she says. We get shots of the animals here. The famous turtle from the animated movie makes an appearance, and a squirrel is sat perfectly on its back. We then see a bluebird dropping onto her hand, just like the animated movie. We can see the bird disappear into its parents, the same as the animated movie, as more animals surround Snow below. The shot changes to Snow arriving at the dwarf's cottage. We can see the animals moving towards the home as she stands beside a young deer, which has a striking resemblance to Bambi. We then see 3 rabbits and a squirrel opening the cottage door for Snow, which is continued in the next shot as she walks in, as the animals also enter with her. We can hear the echoes of Whistle While You Work once again. We get a shot inside the dwarf's cottage as Snow and the animals enter. The table here in the shot is stood firm. Now I want you guys to remember this. This table is stood firm in this shot. We then get a look at the dwarves' footprints as they are marching as a hare watches on, which then changes to Snow taking steps up the staircase. The steps upwards are crafted exactly like the animated movie. We can hear a similar echoey rendition of Hi-Ho in the background. We get a glimpse of the dwarves crossing the log bridge as Hi-Ho continues echoing. Snow enters the bedroom of the 7 dwarves as the animals follow. She rests her head down on one of the beds as a squirrel moves into the shot. The birds place the blanket down on top of her as we see the names of the dwarves on the bedpost, Dopey, Sneezy and Happy. This is similar, extremely similar to the animated movie. The next shot is at nightfall and we see the dwarves entering the bedroom as Snow is still asleep. Sleepy is seen first as he approaches the beds and draws to a halt. The following shot shows all of the dwarves banging into the back of him. They're all dressed in red pyjamas. The covers are removed from Snow in the next shot. We then see the dwarves watching on. Doc proceeds to scream. Sleepy is asleep beside him as Happy appears to be holding him. Now, let me try and guess the identities of the dwarves from this shot because it's not actually clear which one is which. So I'm going to try and guess. So Happy, Sleepy, Grumpy, Dopey, Doc, Sneezy, Bashful. That's my assumption. The scream causes the dwarves to run and hide. We see an eye appear next, another appear elsewhere, then one appears underneath a bed. The following scene shows them all rushing into the room with their pickaxes ready to attack. Snow stands with a lantern in her hand as she looks back at the scurrying dwarves before her. They all look towards her and we can hear her say, "Wait, wait." The shot shows Doc saying, "She's a human," to which the shot changes as Snow says, "What did you think I was?" One replies, "Nothing," as Grumpy bites back saying, "Ghost." We then see the next shot, which shows Snow and the dwarves dancing around the cottage to Whistle While You Work. Here the table is now broken, meaning somehow between Snow arriving in the cottage and the dwarves inspecting the home, this table ends up worse for wear. I think from a leaked video of Whistle While You Work, I'm almost certain that Dopey sings on the table. So I don't really know what happens here. It does break, but I'm unsure how. One shot has Doc saying, "You'll be safe from the Queen here," with more shots from the dance sequence of Whistle While You Work playing. If we zoom in here, we can see the turtle taking part in the cleaning with cups and plates on its back. We then see the Queen emerging from her doorway and onto the balcony. To me, this is likely the scene from earlier in the movie where she was watching Snow with Jonathan at the gate. We see the Queen looking down and raising her arms as the crowds gather below the castle. She is holding a scepter. Interesting here, there was a scepter in the original movie in the background here. They've simply put it to use in the live action movie. It's unclear what role or what part this scepter will be, but it seems they are going to use it quite frequently. The Queen stole everything from all of us, states Snow. We see the townsfolk bowing at the arrival of somebody. We see Snow then looking down, addressing the dwarves as she says, "I'm gonna need your help." We see the back of Snow in a red cape in the shot. She appears to be entering the kingdom, making me believe the bowing townsfolk may be for her. The following shot shows her removing her hood as she says it's time to restore our kingdom. The next scene takes place in town during happier times. The townsfolk appear to be singing. The atmosphere is brighter. I said earlier, if you guys noticed the shots before, so in the past they were bright and happy, whereas shots when the evil queen is ruling are dark and grey. Waiting on a Wish by Rachel Zegler plays during the next segment. We see Snow spinning in an earthy area next. She reaches and grabs an apple in the next shot. We then see a shot of the dwarves pulling a lever on one of the mine carts. We then see them heading through the mine as the cart moves at an increased speed. This appears to be a homage to the Seven Dwarfs mine train ride at Walt Disney World. The classic story flashes on screen. We then see Snow holding out her hand as there appears to be fireflies. Jonathan sees her seemingly and stands to his feet. We then see the evil queen sporting her iconic gown from the animated movie as she shouts, "Find Snow White" to her guards. The guards are seen exiting the castle on horseback to find her. Comes to life flashes on screen next. We see Dopey mining with his pickaxe. We get another shot of the mine again, which is glittering with gorgeous gems. We also see Snow White in her rags singing the song in the segment. It appears this "Waiting on a Wish" will replace "I'm Wishing" from the animated movie. We can see the entrance to the castle full of people behind Snow as she approaches the castle gates. We then see Snow saying, "This is our kingdom. We're here to take it back." Spears appear before her from the Queen's guards. We then see the Queen crossing the bridge to the castle. "You were saying," she says. We then see a shot of Snow White on horseback as she runs through the forest, with a close-up of her on the horse itself. This is homage to this animated moment. I believe it was from a comic that showed animated Snow White on horseback with her father. We then see the Queen descending the stairs, also a scene directly from the animated movie. If we lighten the image, there are rats here, similar to the animated movie. She is then seen drinking the potion as smoke fumes near her. Then we see the poisoned apple being brought out of the cauldron. The old hag is seen next as she stares at the apple. The shot that follows shows Jonathan on horseback. He actually appears to be dressed the same as his animated counterpart here. "I'm sorry, dear," says the old hag. We see Dopey appear with the gems in his eyes, another direct homage to the animated movie. Snow and Jonathan are briefly shown to look at something startled. Then we see another shot of the old hag before Snow. "Did I frighten you?" she says. The next shot shows Snow looking afraid at the doorway of the cottage. She then appears to take the poisoned apple from the old hag in a completely different shot. The strange reason this shot looks different is because this appears to be in the middle of a field. Snow is also sporting a red cape. My guess is that perhaps there is a dream sequence in which she sees the old hag attempting to poison her before it happens, or this shot is from the original movie and the shot at the cottage was added in the reshoots in order to appear more faithful to the animated movie. Snow White appears on screen as Grumpy crosses his arms and a squirrel copies him, prompting Snow to laugh. And that is the full breakdown of this trailer. Personally, I don't think it looks that bad. You know, I've seen a lot of hate online about this movie, and I get that, you know, sometimes the actors aren't smart, but I don't think the movie looks bad. I will watch it. I think it looks okay. And that's my opinion. I don't think it will be as good as the animated classic, but then the live actions really are, and they're just there to retell a story which isn't going to be offensive to the original. You know, Disney have gone back and reshot this numerous times. They've added dwarves to make them more prominent, especially. They've obviously gone back and reshot some moments to make it more faithful to the cartoon, which, you know, not a lot of studios would do. And that's not me defending them. I think Rachel Zegler is doing a lot online that's kind of, you know, maybe she should just be quiet over stuff, because they are in the public eye. No matter what you say, you're going to create, you know, negative responses from people who don't agree with you. And I think that this is something where I would just come off social media. I just wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't do anything or say anything publicly. It doesn't matter what she says at all. As long as she is good in this movie, that's all that matters. And from the trailer, I don't think it looks bad. But that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this breakdown of the Snow White trailer. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more Disney videos, and I will hope to see you here again. I am going to be delving into some Disney lore soon, to delve into some backstories that we weren't given. Things like Belle's mom, things that you didn't know that happened to her, things like, you know, backstories to some of the princess's parents that weren't really explained on screen, things like that. Details on where the inspiration for some of the villains came from, which can be quite dark. So yeah, we're going to be delving into some Disney lore. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and we hope to see you here again at yet another Disney channel.